Hey everybody, how's it going? So I got a little bit of something special. I've never seen this done anywhere, and anytime I've actually found it or anything related to it, photos don't work, links are gone, this, that, and the other, which is always a pain. And this was a little twofold project for me. One, just curiosity, trying to learn everything I can about the engines that I work on, but also as part of my investigation into what could possibly be making the horrible racket that my single cam makes. I have lots of previous experience with other noises engines make, rod knock especially. I feel very strongly that it is not rod knock, because it goes away under load and is RPM dependent. The engine runs fantastic, has no loss of power, and there's absolutely no metal in the oil at all. And it has thick oil and it has oil pressure. I have previously gone through my KA's rocker arms and checked to make sure that they were bleeding and rebounding, and I found no issues with them as far as I could tell. This is out of one of my spare engines. Many of the single cams that I pick up are old and mistreated, and these suckers are stuck up in there and they're not rebounding, and very obviously not good anymore. And getting this apart was extremely difficult. This little ring right here did not want to come out of the groove that it was in. It was very happy in its little home. I'm looking for my flashlight. Here we go. Here's a look. Down inside the actual rocker arm itself, you can see the hole there in the bottom. That is the bleeder hole where it comes out. This is a pressed in steel ball that is there to block off the this end of the oil channel that they bored down through here. You can see the feed hole right there inside the journal, I guess, whatever. You can tell, and pretty much all of these, I always see the same thing. They've been eaten up by something. The journal is scarred. I'm doing my best to try to get you guys a good view in there, but it's very hard to get the light and the camera into the same location. I've taken Z32 lash adjusters apart. They are a bucket style, but they are a hydraulically adjusted lash adjuster. In order to disassemble them, it's pretty straightforward. It took me a minute to figure it out because I was very nervous. I didn't want to damage them, but they're extremely hard and very, very durable. And basically you just put them on a hard surface and smack the snot out of them, and the adjuster inside of it pops out. And it has kind of a similar layout. It's been a minute since I've seen one. I'm going to grab one and pull it apart just to kind of compare the two. But it features this same kind of little regulator plate thing. This part with the channel faces down, or in this case down. The channel allows ensures that there's always the ability for oil to bleed off. The adjuster here, which I originally didn't, I thought this was all one piece. Oh, it's trying to get away from me. Gravity always getting the better of us. When I first pulled it apart, it was all together, smashed down like that. But as I was looking at it, I was like, that really looks like a parting line. Like there's two pieces here. Took me a minute, and I got it to budge, and then it came apart. This piece moves decently, but obviously was still stuck. Not much to my surprise, but there was a spring, and there is a little check ball. The spring is on this side, the ball is pushing it down against there to retain fluid inside of it, and that actually is a much better, much more comforting lash adjuster, because previously I was like, well, how does this plate stay in place, and if this whole piece is moving up and down the cylinder, which This is all scored up, and is probably the source of this mechanism's failure, is that this did not want to move very freely. It would not rebound in the cylinder. It's very crunchy. I'll probably have to clean it up with a little bit of emery cloth, similar to doing a journal or main bearing surface. And then obviously soaking everything. But it does not seem to be a varnish problem. As you can see, just trying to put this together, it's holding really good. That's just air. If there any sort of oil got into that would adjust itself very nicely. The issue being that this got smashed down and was holding the whole mechanism up against the top in the barrel. So that is what needs to get cleaned. Trash got into it and just beat the ever-living crap out of it. I don't know if it was casting sand that broke loose from the engine block. I've seen issues like that, or if it was something else. My only kind of difficulty with trying to figure that out is the fact that the head receives its oil supply off of the main oil gallery, and between the head and the block is a little pressed in check valve that is very common in especially 90s era Nissans. I know VGs have two of them, one for each bank, obviously, and they seem to work pretty good. RB people know about them very well because they usually add a restrictor to reduce the flow of oil to the head because of the drain back issues and stuff like that. I've never KAs and VGs really don't have that problem. VGs especially, because they have double. They have to automatically have double the amount of oil drain back. So this was just a very interesting little piece. I was just kind of trying to avoid doing some other stuff. And now that I've gotten it apart, I feel much more comfortable with it. Like I said previously, it seemed like there was no spring involved in it. And you know, if this moved down, then what about this? So this gives me much clearer not only understanding of how it works, but what could cause a malfunction. Getting this clip out was a pain. I don't have a surefire process of how to do that. I literally just kind of used a whole bunch of different things. I put a lot of them away, and I just kind of try to work this out. It sits in a little groove that goes around the inside of this, and it was not fun to get out. I was surprised kind of by the plate, because what I'd read, you know, it was a check ball, something like that. It's not. It's a plate style little regulator piece. So this is a definite big win for me anyway, as I'm working to investigate this problem. But I wanted to make a video just kind of detailing this and providing some information on it, because I really didn't find anything, and if I did find anything, you know, the images were gone, didn't work, all kinds of stuff, and nothing that actually had it laid out. So there it is. It's generally not recommended to disassemble these, and it was definitely not easy, but there it is. And if I make any other interesting discoveries, I'll make sure to put it out there for everybody. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you all next time.